What's up everyone, Karu here, and in today's video we're gonna talk about my gear for 2026. What racket am I using? What strings am I using? It's Toroline, but we're making some changes. And not only that, we're gonna take a sneak peek at what's in my bag. All the things that I bring with me for tournaments, for practice. We're also gonna be testing some strings, but we're not gonna do this in the office, obviously. We're gonna go to the Toroline headquarters. Eric from Toroline built this amazing court in his backyard, so that's where we're gonna go right now, and then we'll meet back here for some final thoughts. Let's go! Okay, so starting with the party piece, right? The racket. I know everyone wants to know about my specs and all those things. This is a good day to do this because I just signed a 2-year contract with Tecnifiber, literally this morning. So we're gonna continue to work together, maybe even develop a racket together. Racket wise, I just got actually new sticks not too long ago, a few weeks ago. It's the same racket from last year, TF40 1820 string pattern, but this time I changed the specs a little bit. You know, working with Dieter, you guys know Dieter from the customization with Tecnifiber, and we did a couple different things. So let's go over them. First of all, specs, right? You guys want to see the specs. 315 grams static weight, so without strings. 31.8 balance and 293 swing weight. So I went down even more on the swing weight. This is all unstrung. This one does not have any weight. So this is what I got from Dieter and from Tecnifiber with string. That's it. So let's see what he weighs. So we got 333 grams strung, but without grip, without any lead tape, and without, you know, dampener and all those little things. So now let's see this one that is the final product with weight, with dampener, with grip. 346. All right, so that's my 346 grams. That's like my final spec for this one. Feels great. I've already played it for a couple weeks this way, and at first it felt a little heavy again, just kind of moving back to a heavier racket, but I've gotten used to it now, and for the style I play, trying to take the ball early and maybe directing the ball a little bit more, this is helpful. You might not play like me. The specs might not mean anything to you and for your racket, but this is what I got. So we're good on the racket. My racket from last year was the same spec, but 319 grams and I think 298 or 297 swing weight. So why did I go down? I actually went down to go up. So you will see here, I added more lead tape to the head. So from factory, I asked it for it to be fairly head light and fairly low swing weight. So then I could kind of lead up the head a little bit more and have more room to play with when customizing here. The reason for that is essentially I just want a little more stability through the shot without feeling like the racket is too heavy on me, that I can sort of whip it around, especially on the forehand side. The modern game, most players nowadays have very low swing weights just because, you know, they accelerate a lot. I'm still a little bit more on the old school side where I like to, you know, maybe guide the ball a little bit more, play through the ball a little bit more. So because of that, having a little more stability on the head helps me just sort of kind of stay smooth the way I like to play, but get the power and just that feeling of plow through. It's not necessarily the feeling most players are looking for these days. Everyone's switching to the power rackets, fast swing speeds, things like that. It's the way the game has evolved too. But for me, I think I still kind of like the old school, more, you know, kind of like Novak-like. You know, he has a lot of lead tape here, very heavy racket still. You can see here, you know, Dieter put a Yonex leather grip actually this time, so he customized the handle. Kimoni dampeners, because these are the best. In a world where everyone's switching to the power rackets, we could go counterculture and we choose the difficult way of doing it. All right, guys, now gear, right? You guys know I'm with On now. I get a lot of questions, especially on the shoes. I'm using the Roger Pro Fire. Overall, I think it's a great shoe. I think On has come a long way when it comes to their tennis shoes. They actually last longer than they used to. I've noticed that. I do have a link below with my On sort of affiliate link. If you're ever shopping On, check the link down below. It does help me. Clothes as well. Okay, so I got it here in my bag. Tennis shorts, tennis shirts, everything pretty clean. to be honest. Not a lot of, I have the gradient stuff. I have the stuff they wear in, you know, the Australian Open, but you know, it feels like you need to wear those in, you know, big events, you know, just to train, and they feel a little silly. So yeah, I like the clean, classy look. Me and the Changeover podcast guys, big on guys now. So really recommend their stuff. Got some cool shoes as well, the casual stuff. They've been great to work with, so I highly recommend you getting their stuff. Appreciate On for, you know, taking a chance on me. Now we are going to cover some of like the little things that are always in my bag or always come with me in trips. Like, it's just the non-negotiables, right? It's the things that, like, when you're doing the mental checklist in your head, it's like, do I have everything? I have to have them. So starting with the dampeners, right? Kimoni dampeners. I love these things. I like Japanese made stuff. Kimoni is great. Lead tape, I always have it with me. I don't tend to make a lot of changes in my rackets, but every once in a while, certain conditions require maybe a little bit lighter racket or a little bit heavier racket. I wouldn't recommend you do that all the time, but I have it just in case, you know, if I want to tinker with my rackets. All right, grips. Yonex Super Grab, just a staple. I actually use the dry version. It's kind of newish. It's a good mix between a Tourna grip, right, that is like really dry, and kind of like your regular. I think I have the regular one here too. I have the wet one as well. I think this one is a great blend, especially if you sweat a lot. I personally think it's the best grip on the market. I've said it before, it's either a Yonex grip or Wilson grip or Tourna grip. Those are the three best. I think all the other stuff is not very good. So thank you, Marcos, by the way, for the sponsorship. Marcos hooks me up with some Yonex grips. So shout out to him. Sunscreens, obviously. You know, I just had to go to the dermatologist because my wife was like, you gotta go and make sure you're not getting skin cancer. What else do I have in here? Little tape. I like to tape my fingers when I actually like play full out. I don't know why. It's not like I have blisters or anything, but like there's some dryness here that I don't like depending on the weather. So a clamp. I always have this in my bag for the content purposes, because I can clamp anywhere, put my camera up to record and actually make a living out of tennis. All right, so this is what we got in here. Let me see what else. This is a bag of wristbands. There's a bunch of wristbands in here. I don't understand people that don't wear wristbands to play, to be honest. I don't understand how they can do it. Supplements. What do I bring with me? First thing, Element. Just gotta stay hydrated. These are always with me. They're always in my bag. I have them in my bag, my roller bag. I can always find a couple packets somewhere. So I always have Element with me. Great, I've worked with them for a long time now. I highly recommend it. So Element is always with me. Creatine. Okay, so recently I got this, you guys probably saw, I did a sponsorship collab with Momentous, and what I really like about their stuff is like they actually have creatine chews, so just like a little thing you eat. It's much easier than traveling with powders, to be honest. I hate traveling with powders. I hate powders, and so this just makes life a lot easier. Take like 5 of these a day, call it a day. So always gotta have creatine, but this makes it a lot easier to travel with. Momentous creatine chews, great. No links. These are things that, yes, they send me for free, but I'm not sponsored by them anymore. It's just, you know, products that I've received that I continue to use. All right, this one here is for the Kardashian fans. Lamy. These are unbelievably good for sleeping. When you're on the road, you need good sleep. This one, you know, has melatonin, magnesium, and actually L-theanine. L-theanine for me helps me sleep incredibly well, even though I have like insane dreams. But Lamy gummies are really good. Paying out of pocket for this. I'm not sponsored or anything by them. That's just a wife that knows what's up, and she got these for me when I traveled. I was having a hard time adjusting to time zones and things like that. So these are really the 3 things I always have with me in terms of like supplements. Just makes it easier. I try to get, you know, protein shakes wherever I go. I don't like traveling again with big packs of protein and things like that. So, all right, now into some funky things, okay? Bands. These ones here, you guys see me warming up, right? You need these things. Get a proper warm up. Guys, I can't stress enough like how important bands are. Armbands. Boom, you need these. You need to warm up with these. You need to use these every day. They're great for injury prevention. The minimal thing you can have is a few rackets, some string, and some bands. You're a tennis player, okay? I have this like little like baseball. It's not really a baseball, but it's kind of a baseball that I like to just like throw it whenever I'm warming up. And then this guy is very light, but it's a very firm little rolling out ball, so you can really get in like some tight spots. So that's always in my bag. It's easy to travel with. It's better than, not better, but easier to travel than foam rollers. We got this in here. Again, I don't even know where I got it. I think at Dick's, but great little ball to have with you. Just basic stuff, guys. Basic stuff, simple stuff wins. Ink and stencil. When you're sponsored by a tennis brand, you're obligated to always stencil your rackets. That's kind of what signifies you're being sponsored. It's part of the contract. Very simple. It's always in my bag. I think that's about it in terms of what's in the bags. Now, obviously, tennis bag, right? This is just a Technifiber tennis bag, the TF40 line, which is like the nicer one, and nice and green. You're probably wondering how many rackets I travel with. I always have 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are all my new ones here. 5 rackets to me is enough. I don't break that much string. Top pros are traveling maybe with a little bit more, especially if you're playing 5 sets. You might be stringing 6 to 8 rackets for a 5-setter. This is my little side bag that I have, camera gear, things like that. It's from Portland Gear. They actually just sent me that for free, so shout out to them, because I saw their website and I was like, your bags are really cool, would you send me one? They sent me one, so shout out to them. Really nice bag for just having all the camera stuff, camera gear, mics, and all the stuff that you have to have as a content creator to make it easier. And these days, like on tour, you see everybody has like a side bag, right? Because you have to bring multiple shoes when you're playing, have enough like change of clothes. What if it rains? And you know what I mean? So you always have to be like overly prepared. Unfortunately, I feel like every decade we just have more and more stuff. But having a nice bag that you can take with you makes it all easier. So that's basically what I got. All right, so now strings. Okay, we're here with Eric from Toroline, my man. You guys know I've been playing with K-Pop Spin for a while, right? It's a blend.
We got Spin on the mains, we got regular Otoro on the cross, so we got the pentagonal shape for the ball grip, and then we got Otoro, which is our most spin-friendly string on the market.
Yeah, so and then what we're testing today is this is the A5, right?
A5, yes,
A5.
That's our new model.
So it's a new model. I've recently reached out to Eric because I wanted to go back to just a full round poly.
Yep.
You can explain a little bit better.
Yeah, rounder strings has a more pure connected feel. The launch is, because it's a round profile, has a lower launch angle. And yeah, I think it's better for, if you just want to hit through the court. I think nowadays with the ball quality, it's, you're looking for more power, more pop, especially on the serve.
Yeah.
I think pros, they want to, end the points a little faster, especially with balls that just don't give you much. This gives you a little more juice. And it's also got a lot of spin from the snapback. So yeah, you can see right here, string moves out of place, back into place. This basically creates a slingshot effect for the ball. And yeah, it gives you more RPMs, it gives you easier spin. Yeah, the feedback from all the pros was that they wanted, especially our doubles player that we just signed, Julian Cash, he wanted a lower launch angle. Just because when doubles, like when the ball sits up a lot, like the opponent is just gonna, cross and poach. So you definitely want to go lower on the launch because of that.
So let's hit some balls and
Awesome.
see what's up. All right,
let's go.
All right, so just a quick chat here about the strings. Like I said in the video, I've been trying to go back to a round strings with edges, have a little bit more friction, and I'm just trying to, have the softest setup possible. And by the time you watch this video, I've already made my decision on the strings, which is playing with the A5 for now. Maybe, we'll see, Eric. Maybe we'll do something fun with it and come up with a new blend. But A5 is just a fantastic string. I think like when you find that perfect pairing between like the racket and the string, everything kind of comes together. I've been playing some really awesome tennis. So in all the clips and matches you've been watching recently, I got A5 lock and loaded. Through my testing, I just found that A5 was a little bit more predictable. I like the lower launch angle and I can just let it fly. It helps me, sort of with my style of taking the ball on the rise, trusting that the ball is going to drop because it gets a lot of spin, but I can like continue to hit through it. I've been playing actually a lot on clay, green clay, not real clay. And I happen to be a clay dog and I've been playing some really, really good tennis. Probably the best tennis I've played, I would say in the last 18 months. Those small adjustments I made to my racket Came just from a place of, you know, playing that tournament in Naples and feeling like my racket just wasn't getting the plow through that I wanted, and that's why we made the adjustments that you saw earlier in the video. And that change helped a lot. I feel like the racket is a lot more stable. You know, I'm not getting those like fluffy, disgusting like backends. I was missing a lot of backends. Especially in Naples, and now I just feel like I can like really let it fly. And honestly, you know, there's all this like clay court tournaments happening right now. I wish I was playing them, but I'm just continuing to focus on getting in a great shape for the intense season that is coming up. We're gonna talk about that on the next video, and I really want to be fully prepared for that. So that's why I've covered this before. I'm not playing on tour right now, but after Intense, during the fall, there's a lot of tournaments. I have my protected ranking that I'll be able to use for some challengers. So that's really it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. There's links down below for everything we covered today. If you want to grab them, just check it on the description there. Thanks for your support. Maybe pick one of these up, try it out, see if you like it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.